So in the last video, I covered this article from Kate Mulvey about how she regrets belittling men and she's ended up alone and how, as she said, feminism has ruined her love life. But I got kind of interested. This isn't the only article she's written. What else has she written? And actually, she's written quite a lot. She spent her life writing articles about the things that she feels. And honestly, it's kind of fascinating watching her being this loose end at the end of her life where really nobody needs her. Nobody depends on her. And she doesn't really have a place in the world. And so she's constantly in this contradictory turmoil that she can't escape from. I mean, she's decided, after belittling men for her entire life, actually she likes uber masculinity. She's 10 signs you're dating a manly man in 2025. Does your beau take control? Own a garden shed? Have zero clue what macho means? The hell's I don't know what that means. I'm not even trying to be macho. I just don't know what that is. So she says, in today's new feminized, fragranced feminized world, the once confident male has surrendered his masculinity and is too terrified to crack a joke in case it is seen as a hate crime. He lathers his face in citrus-scented unguents and is fully in touch with his emotions. What is going on? Like we talked about in the Great Feminization video. Yeah, that's a real problem, isn't it? And now men have been feminized, the world has been feminized, and feminists like this woman who are like, yeah, feminism ruined my love life, and I'm alone at the end. She said, you know what I would love? Just some rugged butch dude to just come along and sweep me off my feet. She's in her 60s dreaming of this. Like, it's not even like if she was like 33 or something, 35, and the clock was ticking, I could totally understand it. But even at 63, she's like, yeah, I just want the stupid Neanderthal man to sweep me off my feet. Well, you know what? You used to have that, actually, so that's what things used to be like. And you were like, oh no, I need independence. I need liberation. I need to regret this when I'm very old and alone. The extreme overlapping of the sexes in recent years is so funny. Has created a whole phalanx of men who are so uncertain of their position in society they've become confused, blubbering messes. Off they go to buy an espresso machine to calm their nerves. Yeah, well, I mean, you wanted this, you got it, and you're not happy, they're not happy. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, I think that perhaps this was a giant fucking mistake that has ruined it for many, many people. Thank God I'm not one of them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's time to go back to the days when men came home slumped in a chair and expected a roast on the table and a woman in a pretty apron, red lipstick and stilettos. Nevertheless, well, it's obvious we need a new male model, a hybrid of the old world order of the new. It's time for men to reclaim their manhood. Well, I mean, she's got lots of things. He'll never wear an I'm a feminist t-shirt. He wants to be our hero. He takes control. He's romantic. He's an adventure guy. He'll never cry in public. And the thing is, she's met these men. She has experienced these men. She knows these men. And then she writes articles going, oh my God, my nightmare boss would slap my bum and treated me like a slave. It's like, okay. So you have encountered these sorts of guys. And I'm not saying you should do this, by the way, obviously. It's just that the thing is, with uber macho men, uber masculine manly men, a lot of them tend to think that this is flirting or wooing you, and this is actually what you secretly want. And, I mean, this is him taking control, in his view. Just saying. Is it not exactly what you're asking for? But anyway, she talks about her controlling and demanding boss. But anyway, so rationally, she's like, no, I don't want a man to treat me this way. Subconsciously, like I said, not that I'm suggesting you should do what her old boss did. Anyway, then she goes, well, look, it's fine. It's fine, because I'm playing the field. Men have always played the field. I mean, I don't think they have. Men who have been married for their entire lives don't tend to play the field, but anyway. But women should play the field. Yeah, that's right. 63-year-old women playing the field. That must be going great. That must just be going great. But she talks about how her friends were shaming her for having multiple boyfriends, apparently. Which, I mean, good for her. She's doing a great job. At 63 years old to have multiple boyfriends. That's very impressive. And she learned a lot of things by dating these younger men. What did she learn? They think you're a goddess. They're like human anti-aging cream. Younger men will ignite your midlife libido. Turn off the negative voice in your head that tells you, aren't you old and saggy? That's like, don't worry about that. They are a break from our middle-aged lives. I mean, I think you're a little past middle-aged, but okay. He's not the only fish in the sea, so as in there's plentiful supply of them, and they're used to living in the moment. But this is my favourite one. Be careful to not start having love feelings. They aren't sticking around. It's easily done. If you mistake your passion and excitement for long-term love, you're setting yourself up for a fall. Take the relationship for what it is, a fun, happy little fling. Yes, the feelings are real, but dial down the long-term expectations and you can have the time of your life. As in, they're just getting some because you're available and you're happy to give it to them. That's what this is. Right, okay. So you're basically being taken advantage of by younger men. Right, okay, well, that's fine. But that's exactly what they want. We don't want to have sex with old men. Old men have old bodies. Just like the 63-year-old woman that she has an old body. And young men don't have old bodies. And therefore, this is great, even though, of course, you will remember she is alone at 63 and has nothing on the horizon, as it were. But yeah, so she's not interested in men her own age. And that means that she has to rely on a friend group a lot. Now, you'll see that she's posted here a brazen photo my friend posted online was so toxic I cut her out. So many women turn out to be vipers. I wish I hadn't ignored these 7 signs. What it is, she'd become friends with a woman called, what was it, Sophie, I think it was? Subion, sorry. Some Irish name. And she had posted a photo on Facebook, and she wasn't in it. And then she felt like she was back at school. You're not part of the gang, the voice in my head told me. And so she cut this friend out of her life. Did she give a list? I can't remember if she gives a list in this. Yeah, there we go. The 7 signs your friend is your frenemy. They revel in your lows but go quiet for your highs. Their support vanishes once you leave the room. They disguise competition as curiosity. Time with them leaves you drained, not lifted. Everything comes with conditions attached. The jokes and jabs never stop. And criticism and jealousy seep through. It's like, well, I'm feeling it. Maybe she wrote an article in the Daily Mail. Anyway, she is, of course, 63, and then she found that her friends just weren't there for her when she needed them. I mean, she says that she's 63 a lot. This really comes up in the things she tells us. This is a very important part of her personality. But she cuts out all of those friends, and then, lo and behold, the friends aren't there when you needed them. She had a serious health scare. She attended a hospital alone because, of course, she's got no husband, no kids. The friends have got things to do because they actually do have husbands and kids. And she's like, well, I can't believe all those friends that I was cutting out of my life have just abandoned me. Well, this must be another way of getting at me, I suppose. And she then complains that women of a certain age, as in her friends, are so desperate to stop their husbands leaving, they'll always pick them over friends like me. I know exactly why. It's like, yeah, because they look at you. They look at your life and go, you don't want to end up like Kate, do you? You don't want to end up like Kate. So basically, they got a date in the diary. There were 4 middle-aged women laughing and joking. I mean, at 63, I'm sorry, I just don't think you're middle-aged. I think you're just elderly at that point. And that's fine. I'm 46, man. I'm getting there. Like, it's 15 fucking years, I'll be 60. So, like, I'm not saying I'm middle-aged either. I think I'm fucking old. But anyway, 4 middle-aged women are laughing and joking, gossiping, when suddenly Mel broke the conversation to take a call from her husband. 1 sec. 10 minutes later, another ping, and a friend received a message from her man about what they were having for dinner later. Ping, ping, ping. It went all through the lunch. Then came the final straw. One of my friend's husbands arrived early to pick her up, plunked himself down, bought a glass of wine, complained it was warm, and angrily summoned the waiter to bring ice. Excuse me? Did he think he was part of the group? I wanted to pour the ice bucket over his head. Instead, I clenched my teeth and swore this was the last time I go to such an effort. How can I say this? I'm sick to death of my girlfriends putting their husbands before me. But their husbands have a closer attachment to them personally than you do to them. Like, their husbands are their husbands. You are one of their friends. They see you increasingly rarely because they have husbands and children, and probably at this point grandchildren, to care for and deal with and get and spend their time with. And I'm sure they enjoy seeing you, don't get me wrong, but like, I think you're failing to understand your position in the hierarchy of importance in these people's lives. And so, of course, they're like, well, I want to make sure that my husband is okay. But she says, is it too much to ask that you wait till after our lunch, 2 or 3 hours out of your life, to message or FaceTime your beau? Do you not understand how insulting it is to be parked and ignored when your better option beckons? To be honest with you, I actually kind of agree with this. It's like, look, if we're finally, like, we're, even at my age, if you manage to actually get an afternoon with your mates or something, and hang out, and this happens once every like 6 months or something, then it would be very rude to have, the mate's girlfriend or my wife interrupting constantly. I would just leave my phone on silent, frankly. And my wife understands I'm having a bit of time with the boys. She doesn't bother me. But the point is that this is something that is important enough to her to write an article about and publicize to the world. Oh, women of a certain age are so desperate to stop their husbands from leaving, they'll always pick them over their friends. Like, yeah, well, I guess so. I guess they're not all just like 63 and lonely and without their friends not there for them. In fact, that's exactly what she says. I'm a single woman of 63 and I feel friendless and lonely. It's like, yeah, because you prioritized yourself first and you expected everyone else around you, all of your friends in your friend group, to prioritize themselves and therefore their relationship with you first. But actually, that's not how that works. Not only have you cut a bunch of them out of your life, but the other ones have obviously got husbands and families and, like I said, kids and grandkids to worry about. And so they have to spend their time with them. And so, yeah, no kidding. After chasing men away your whole life, failing to get that house with a husband and 2 kids, you're now friendless and lonely and writing for, this is the iPaper, this particular one, and you've got nothing left to do. Like, you've probably got another 20 years of life. What are you going to do with it? This is the crazy thing about the way that modern culture, and as she said in her first article, like when she was 17, brainwashed into feminism and told that she should be independent and liberated from men. It's crazy that this is genuinely what feminism is setting women up for. This is just, sorry, you're going to be in your 60s, you're going to be lonely, and you're going to be like, well, I'm dating younger men, so that's okay. Except I'm one of the super lonely suffering from skin hunger. With Valentine's Day approaching, many of us haven't touched another person for almost a year. Here's how it feels or doesn't feel like. I'm sure it doesn't feel great. I'm sure it doesn't feel great. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, you can see why the women of a certain age are desperate to stop their husbands from leaving all of a sudden. Because they actually don't want to be friendless and lonely and having gone a year without feeling the touch of another human being. Like, what? Again, like I said in the last video, aren't you furious with the people who made you a feminist? Aren't you furious with those people who did this to you, who turned you into a feminist, and who made you pay a hefty price for your liberation? Aren't you angry that feminism has ruined your love life? As you said, I'd be furious, man. I'd be like, I'd just be burning Gloria Steinem's books in the street and screeching to younger women, look, don't do this. It ruined me. It made me miserable and alone and without feeling the touch of a man for literally more than a year, while I desperately have one-night stands, whatever one-night stands I can get with younger men, just to give them a place to spend their time. But don't get attached because they aren't staying. Like, this is sad. This is deeply, deeply sad. And then, obviously, you just get resentment. So she published this last year. Ban children from restaurants after 7:30. Stop selfish mums and their raucous little darlings, ruining them for the rest of us. What do you mean? What do you mean, the rest of us? That cohort of single childless feminists who are craving ultra-manly men because they haven't had the touch of a man in over a year, so you can get your dinners for one on your own in quiet. No, just stay home. Fuck off. Like, whenever I eat out with my family, it's always just families eating out in these restaurants. I'm single and I want child-free flights. They ruin my summer vacations. Sorry, listen, spinster. Actually, no, everyone's busy, right? Everyone's busy. We're not taking orders or instructions from the leftover women that feminism has created. We're really sorry, but actually we've got to do stuff with our kids and with our wives. You know, and this was such a wild thing that I found, just going through all of the things. Bad hygiene. I'm shamed for showering twice a week, and friends say I'm letting myself down, but I don't care. I'm more hygienic. Ugh. God, okay. I every morning I shower because I feel fucking disgusting if I don't. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a man. I realize I sweat way more than a woman. Blah blah blah. But like that to me is just. Ugh, ugh. But anyway, the point being, don't let this be you, ladies. Right? You have your young, fertile years stacked up front. You have your most desirable and most valuable years stacked up front. For men, most of their most valuable years are usually not stacked up front in their youth. Right? If you're a man, unless you are phenomenally lucky or unbelievably good looking or incredibly talented in something, so much more than the average person, you have to spend 20 years building your value. You have to spend 20 years building your expertise, building your career, building, I guess you could say, your portfolio of skills. So you become someone to whom there is great value in your services and in the work that you do. And so it is over the course of your life, you end up making the money you make. For women, your attractiveness is your primary value. I mean, I'm sure you've seen that Dino Mommy woman on Twitter going viral recently. It's a woman who's got a PhD in paleontology, but on OnlyFans as well, because of course, John Stuart Mill was wrong about the intellectual pleasures. But the point being is, women's most fertile years is when they are most desirable. It's just factually true. It's just what life is. And I'm not trying to make a judgment about it, but the point is that women should be aware of that and use that to get the husband that you want. And then you can get your degree, you can get your career when the kids are at school, when they're growing up and when you're growing older, and you need something to do with the twilight years of your life. So you're not sat there going, well, I mean, I just don't have any friends and I'm all alone and I feel lonely and I've got nothing to do. And that's something that can be avoided if you make sensible choices when you were younger.